Denver, LA, Clippers. Then a three-way tie between Golden State, Memphis, and Minnesota.
I've never
beat
seen
Memphis
anything like that.
last night.
It's unbelievable.
So, Brew, who is the #1 threat to the Lakers in the first round?
Yeah, because it could be any of those teams. And I'll say I think every one of those teams outside of Memphis is dangerous. Like, I think the Lakers...
Memphis might be dangerous. Not on the court.
Oh, in the crowd. Right. It could be dangerous in the arena. I think obviously I picked the Lakers to win the West, so I think they beat Denver. But just by having Jokic and maybe they get a boost from the coaching change, the Nuggets are dangerous. The Clippers are playing good ball. But I'm going with Golden State. And I talked about why, like, the Lakers have shown, as small as everybody says they are, the big teams haven't bothered them at all. And I know it was just one game, so I'm not saying Golden State has their number. But the Lakers obviously play small ball. Golden State plays small ball. And if I'm the Warriors, I feel good about our chances of playing it better than you. They theoretically have two defenders. Obviously, nobody's stopping Luka and LeBron, and everybody understands that. But Jimmy Butler and Draymond can theoretically, they can guard them as well as anybody. You just want to make it hard on them. And then the Lakers, if there's a weakness to their defense, they do give up threes. And you don't want to do that against the Warriors, especially if Steph can get hot. Steph and Draymond know they can beat LeBron. They've done it before. And I know Jimmy Butler's not scared and thinks he can beat LeBron. And Jimmy Butler probably even feels like, you know what? This time it's a fair fight. Because last time he played LeBron in the playoffs, when in the bubble, obviously he was undermatched. But I'm sure he feels good about his chances. So, I still got the Lakers winning the West, but I think the Warriors of these teams will be their toughest competition.
So I totally disagree. And as far as yes, Steph and Draymond have beaten LeBron, but as far as to use the Jimmy example, kind of move it a step forward, they haven't beaten LeBron in a series when it's been a fair fight in a decade. And LeBron played the Warriors when they were the defending champs and sent them home. LeBron played the Warriors in the play-in and beat them. Now, that one, I didn't think that Warriors team was not good enough, the play-in team. LeBron,
they haven't been.
Right.
Yeah,
but the year they were the defending champs, they played in round 2, and the Lakers won in 6. And I don't agree, this last game notwithstanding, that the Warriors have a good plan for Luka. Luka, in the last half-decade, against the Warriors, has just crushed. Now, the team is 10-10 in that stretch, but I would argue that includes the playoff series. They lost 4-1 to the Warriors when the Warriors went on to win the title when Luka was way undermanned. But those individual numbers, 6 40-point games in 20 appearances, 32, 8, and 8, and that was...
But all but one of those, Jimmy Butler wasn't there.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, I'm not saying he shuts him down. Just make it tough.
No, that's totally fair. You're right. There's not a real sample of the Lakers playing the Warriors with Jimmy or the Warriors playing the Lakers with Luka. But if I am power ranking how I, as someone that not only picked the Lakers, but unlike Brew, openly roots for the Lakers, because I root for LeBron, have like an emotional investment in these guys doing well, obviously I'd want Memphis the most. With respect, I'd want Minnesota second. The Warriors would be third. Denver would be fourth. And the team I would want the least is the Los Angeles Clippers.
Wow.
Because the Clippers in round 1 with 8 days off for Kawhi in a series that he wouldn't have to travel, which I think is meaningful for a guy who's, at his age dealing with his injury history. When I have seen Kawhi in the postseason when he's healthy, 2 years ago was unbelievable, those first 2 games, then one of his many knee injuries, sadly. I am going to assume that Kawhi Leonard, at least in round 1, is healthy. And if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, plus, you're right, size hasn't killed him, but Zubac has been excellent.
Hello, triple-double.
He's been excellent.
I love Zubac.
The Clippers added Bogey, who's an Eastern European that is unafraid, that will be screaming at Luka while Luka's screaming back, probably in 2 different languages at each other. And so, again, I think the only team that if the Lakers don't suffer a significant injury, can beat them in 7 in the West is OKC. But as far as power ranking who I would like to play, if going into Sunday, we're in a situation where the loser of Clippers-Warriors gets the 6th seed, I will be rooting for the Warriors to lose because I would rather play them than play the Clippers.
I think there was a time, and I said it, when Kawhi Leonard was a tough matchup for LeBron. Not that he would outplay him, but he was right there with LeBron, and that's no longer the case. Even as well as Kawhi is playing. Like, he is not, like, again, there was even the record. Hadn't the Clippers beat them
a bunch of times in a row, but that's now flipped.
Yeah, that's over. And here's the other thing. Fool me once, shame on you. Yeah. Fool me 8 times, shame on me.
That's fair.
James Harden.
Oh, notice I didn't mention his name. He's the point guard. I
was going to say, like, I agree. The Clippers are playing well, and I honestly would like to see James Harden get this playoff monkey off his back because I think the dude is phenomenal. I've said it time and time again, one of the very few guys that was a playmaker and a scorer at an all-time elite level. But I just can't trust him. He's going to have some good playoff games. But when it's game 6 and you need it, or game 7 or 5, whatever it is, I think, will have hard to understand and hard to categorize clunker. He just won't shoot it a lot. He'll turn it over a lot or whatever it might be. And so I'm not putting my faith in him. In fact, because I know Nick obviously isn't a Clippers guy. Wildes, the Clippers been called bruised Clippers on this show. You guys have gone way overboard with it. That was like years ago. I am officially giving you the Clippers.
Wow.
They are now can be called Wildes Clippers on this show.
Why?
Because they're dead to me.
Wow.
All right? Wow. So they're your Clippers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like them. You know, I hear you on the meetings in the morning talking about them and, you know, giving them their props and all that.
Just a quick question. Quick story. The other day, Nick brought in a pair of baseball gloves.
For your sons.
For my sons.
They
plastic baseball gloves.
I couldn't tell they were plastic. I don't know how you couldn't tell that, Nick.
Past the Little League, you're not in glove culture, let's just say.
So evidently,
you don't have to be in glove culture to know they were plastic.
It was a nice gesture.
It was nice.
He said, I have something for your kids. He brought out these 2 terrible baseball gloves. And my response was, this is very nice, but no thank you.
Yeah.
Do I have to now take the Clippers on? In the West, you're unattached, right? We know you got Boston in the East.
Hello, have you not heard? Houston, we have a problem. We're being disrespected.
Didn't he kick the Rockets to the curb?
No, I kicked Denver to the curb, which I wanted to ask you about.
So here's the thing, just real quick, if I may.
Go.
Wildes, as we're days before the start of the playoffs, his affiliations have been crystallized.
Oh.
In the East, he has Boston. And in the West, he has every single team but the Lakers.
And the Grizzlies, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And the Wolves. And the Wolves. I'm out on the Wolves.
Okay, go
ahead. Are you out on the Wolves?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, here's the Denver question. Going into the year, it's 12-1. We all knew it. Michael Malone owns the Lakers, on Daddy, the whole 9. Yeah. Now Michael Malone's gone, so this is how the year started. November, the same story again. AD, Joker, Lakers win by 25. Then JJ is up for 3 nights straight, figuring out what to do. Says, I'm a triple team Joker. Lakers win by 23. Jokic only has 12 points. The next 2 games, because they split. The next 2 games, Denver wins, LeBron and Luka don't play. And then March 19th, the Lakers win, but Joker doesn't play and LeBron doesn't play. So now that the whole roster and coaching staff has been scrambled, do you think this traditional Denver dominates the Lakers is still have a little DNA there, or is that just
I think
I think that's gone.
I'm
not saying that Denver can't play with them at all.
But if it's just Jokic,
I would
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same thing I say about SGA is it's SGA against 2 superstars, LeBron and Luka. Same thing with Jokic. Now, if Jamal Murray is healthy and at the top of his game,
coming back maybe,
that's a little different.
But just real quick on that before we move on, some of the Nuggets' playoff dominance over the Lakers my opinion, with respect, was a massive coaching edge for Denver. I think the Lakers just got a far better coach than they used to have, tactically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dave Adelman. Is Rick Adelman?
Rick Adelman's son.
Rick Adelman's son, Dave. Sorry.
Yep,
I like Dave Adelman from what I've read about him. I remember this offseason he interviewed for jobs. He seems sharp. We'll see.
I didn't know that was part of the trainer's job. I could do that. Send you a viral video. What do these playoffs mean for Anthony Edwards?
I think it's huge. A year ago, he was the cat's meow.
Yes.
All right, he had swept. That means he was.
I get it. I know what it means.
He had swept Kevin Durant and Devin Booker out of the playoffs. He had beaten the defending champions with the best player in the world in a rousing comeback.
Right. When some people thought no one could beat them in a 7-game series.
Hey, you know what? I believe in the coach.
Yeah.
And he was playing so well, and he was so young, 22 years old, that everyone forgave him for being tired at 22 years old in the conference finals. Like, and people just, I even said it, and I believe it, but I think it was emotional fatigue more so than physical. But other guys, people may have criticized. They look past that because everybody's like, this guy has it all to be like the face of the league. We had to, I texted with Jordan. He said, yeah, his game kind of reminds me of mine. His charisma, his acting chops, all that stuff. What?
I didn't say anything, bro. Keep going.
Flying under the radar. Yeah, it's fine.
Just say, I don't know.
You're points.
Right, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
And this year he's played great individually. Probably his best year individually, 27 points a game.
Might be first team All-NBA.
Yeah, he could be. I'm considering him for that fifth spot that's open. But it's been a disappointment team-wise. And I get it. What could they finish in a 4th seed? I mean, who knows how this thing will go. But it has been a disappointing season team-wise overall. And he's in his 5th year. He's at that point where, first it's like established that you're great individually. And he's done that, and everybody's like, yeah, now it's like, okay, we want to start seeing you win, though. Because if you don't start winning at some level, then it's going to be criticism coming your way because, oh, yeah, he can put up numbers, but is he a leader? Is he a winner?
Why last year was so important.
Yes.
Getting to the conference finals. That
was huge. And that did speed up the process, but you don't want to go backwards now. And here's the thing. If they lose to the Lakers, if they lose to Steph and the Warriors, heck, maybe if they lose to the Clippers just because of Harden and Kawhi and their veteran, presence, maybe people can be like, okay, he's young. Those are veterans that, are savvy and all that. If he loses to Houston, you're not supposed to. I don't care that Houston's the 2nd seed.
That's right.
You're better than Şengün and Green and Thompson and all. You're supposed to beat them. And already OKC, which they went further than last year, the Timberwolves. SGA and SGA has jumped. Now, he was great last year, too, so maybe he was better than But as far as kind of that it guy, it was Ant, not SGA. And now that's reversed. And if you lose to them in the playoffs, then now young guys, if your era have jumped you. And so I think it's huge for him.
So I value deep playoff runs, even if they don't end in a championship, maybe more than most. Like when I'm evaluating guys' arcs. And so I thought it really mattered when Luka beat the Suns when they were the defending conference champions. Not league champions, the defending conference champions. And even though they got beat by the Warriors in the conference finals, I was like, that was a massive step. And then the next year was the tank season. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where the season goes awry. And to me, that didn't hurt Luka as long as the following year he rebounded.
Right.
And he more than rebounded. They made the damn finals. So I look at Anthony Edwards as this year was an opportunity to propel further. And barring another conference finals appearance, we're going to say it was a static year. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think he went backwards because he was so good. And because the West is so tough, there's no matchup that we're going to be like, how did you lose that?
Even it's a different type of 8th seed because everybody's so close.
Exactly right. They're if they hadn't blown the 26-point lead to Milwaukee, we'd be sitting here saying right now they're the 4 seed. Instead, they're an 8. So all of that. What I will say is he is, to me, within club superstar, currently, like a tier 3 superstar.
Yes.
So I think tier 1 is not the 2 best players in the league. It's just the 2 superstars. Mm-hmm. It's LeBron and Steph. Like LeBron and Steph.
So you would have them. I get that. I respect that. But you wouldn't put Jokic and Giannis on tier 1 just because they're not.
Because
they're not celebrities.
Right. No. That's again because I think as far as because when we talk about Ant, we talk about his skill, but also face of the league stuff. So all of that is like in the stew of who is the super duper stars. So I have Steph and LeBron kind of hovering above it. Tier 2, I had Luka, Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic. Those guys.
That's based on their ability.
Based on their ability, all of it. And then I know Shea's going to win MVP. Shea to me is on the same tier as Ant. Tier 3 with the other superstars. Tier 3 where they are not individually either champions or the guys that people are arguing consistently, that's the best player in the league. Right.
That's the no hardware
I think
zone.
you'd have to. I would say put SGA with that group. He's about to get MVP.
All right, get MVP. Fair enough.
And then I would think Ant's charisma and the things you assign to LeBron is now he's obviously not on that level, but he could be if he starts winning.
So that's the point.
So that gives him a little extra boost to me to put him.
The point I'm making is for him, he's not going to win league MVP this year. Obviously, he's not going to. He'll finish 5th on some ballots, and that's it. Barring another deep playoff run, that's just where he stays. And then you know what I mean. It's can he do some actual winning? Now he's so young. The winning clock really is not even supposed to have started yet, and they were excellent last year. But that's, to me, like, he can regain the momentum that he had going into the conference finals last year.
I'm not saying it kills him and he disappears if they lose in the first round, but it's just a step back from what he was last year.
Yeah. It's not what you think it is. I'm taking my words, and I'm throwing them out there. I'm speaking John, being John. I'm going to take my words. I'm going to throw them out there. And then I'm going to block out the noise. Yeah. I thought it was a grenade explosion. It wasn't. He's blocking out the noise. Your reaction to this clarification.
I'm going to sound like such a old man.
Well, you are getting
I get it. I'm 40. I wish he spent a little less time talking and thinking about his celebrations and a little more time talking and thinking about why they've lost 17 of 29, why the coach got fired, why they allowed 52 points in the third quarter last night.
Most
52. That's big. If that happens,
the All-Star
if that happens in an All-Star game, we're like, we got to change everything. Happened in the biggest game of the night. And so I would just ask this. I think Michael Malone's a good coach. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities. You think Michael Malone wants to coach the Grizzlies? They're probably the best team that's going to have an opening.
He would probably take it just because of the talent, but
it's not. It doesn't sound fun. And so I just wish he would be a little more serious about basketball. That's all, and contribute a little more to winning. That's all.
I'm with you. Like, look, I'll give Ja credit. That is a clever double entendre. Like, really, that is a clever double entendre to make it seem like this is all I'm doing. And you know, I can see what he means, but I'm with Nick. Like, why are you so worried about this? And here's the biggest thing. It ain't even a cool celebration. Like, the cool celebrations are quick. Dame time. Just quick. And you know, ice in my veins. This, I mean, an opponent could actually blow by you while you're in your part 3 of your cell. It's too long. There's 3 segments, 3 chapters to this thing. It ain't cool. It don't look good. It looks ridiculous. And Ja obviously has a fetish for explosives and guns and things like that. But look, I don't think the league should fine him. Just let it go. And I would think he'll stop.
Why would they fine him? It's his
No, I agree. But I would think he would just stop after a while because it's too long. Yeah. It's too much.
Before we go to break, I thought it was a grenade. You know, because Gilbert Arenas mentioned it was a grenade, and then he posted, you know, him suggesting it, and then the reaction. So I ran with it. And I think I did a disservice to the audience and the people that spend time with this show because I didn't realize what he was doing was putting his words in his hand.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.